श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। भवानी विश्वनाथ। So let's chant from number 50, second chapter, verse number 50. All of us. बुद्धियुक्तो जहातीह
बुद्धियुक्तो जहातीह
उभे सुकृत दुष्कृते
उभे सुकृत दुष्कृते
तस्माद् योगाय युज्यस्व
तस्माद् योगाय युज्यस्व
योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्
योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्
कर्मजं बुद्धियुक्ता हि
कर्मजं बुद्धियुक्ता हि
फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ताः पदं गच्छन्त्यनामयम्
अनामयम्
यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदम् श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च श्रुतिविप्रतिपन्ना Pratipannate.
Shruti vipratipanna
Yada sthasyati nischala
yada stasyati nischala
samadhavachala buddhihi
samadhavachala buddhihi
tada yogamavapsyasi.
tada yogamavapsyasi.
Yeah. So in the last class, we looked at this shloka number 52. Yadate mohakallam buddhir vyatitarishyati tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. So beautiful point was made by Krishna. Where are your crosshairs? Where are your sights? Are your sights on 100 different things, or are your sights on Atma? Is your attention on Atma or on something else? Something else means there can be hundreds of different things. And the hundreds of different things Krishna has divided into two worlds, Shrotavyasya and then Shrutasya cha. What is heard, what you already know, and what you don't yet know, you will come to know. So the whole world is divided into two. If that's where your focus is, then it's going to be difficult. Keep your focus on Atma. That is what he said here. Okay. And how do you get there? He said, Yada te moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati. How do you get there? Well, I need to see the limitations of everything in this world. What it can give me, I must be clear about. What it cannot give me also, I must be clear about. That is what he says here. Moha kalilam, delusion. Don't be deluded. Appreciate the things in this world for what they are. That much clarity is needed. And if I have that clarity, then tada gantasi nirvedam, you will gain dispassion. Dispassion means objectivity, remember. Dispassion doesn't mean disenchantment. Okay, some people translate it as disenchantment. I hope you know the meaning, the difference between the two. Disenchantment means what? I am tired of life. You know, yeah, all these things. They only give me sorrow. The world gives sorrow to human beings. This kind of idea, you know, this is also very prevalent, and there is very negative perception of the world. World doesn't give anybody anything. It neither gives happiness nor it gives sorrow. That is a fact. So keep on saying world gives me sorrow and all that. And so why? And so I'm looking for solutions. So Bhagavad Gita seems to be good. That kind of attitude, with that attitude, nothing will come from Bhagavad Gita. The world can give me things and it's all mithya, body is mithya. It can give me comforts. It can give me even more comforts. But comforts and happiness are two different things. This much clarity I have. Okay. This I don't confuse comforts with ananda. Okay. This much we are clear about. Okay. That he talked about in 52. And then 53. So let me repeat that shloka. Shruti vipratipannate yadha sthasyati nischala samadhavachala buddhihi tada yogamavapsyasi. So here Krishna extends that argument a little more. And he is making a very bold statement here. He says, last shloka he said, Shrotavyasya Shrutasya cha, and left it there. And here he is adding one more category to that Shrotavyasya, to that which is going to be heard, will be heard, which I have not heard yet. He is adding Vedas into that category. Okay. Because what does Vedas contain? It contains everything a human being needs. So dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Artha and kama also, dharma also. Do all these things. So imsamna kuryat, all these things are there. And then artha and kama. So here you hear of all these yagas, homas, rituals being prescribed. And people do that also. So whether it is Vajpaya Yajna or the Vishwajit Yajna, like this, there are so many yajnas which not only give me a good life here, but it promises me a better life later on. Later, after death, our kings were all they used to do these yajnas because the king, it looks like if the person governs the country in a dharmic way, and the person becomes wanted, popular, and then of course age catches up, and then they do this yaga, so that next janma I can be a better leader, I can be a better king. Okay, this is very common. So you see, Nachiketa's father also did that. Like this, the stories we hear. So Vedas is going to offer every human being whatever they want, and a better place after death. This is very common. So Krishna is saying, let's see what he says here. He is making a pretty bold statement. He says, what you're going to hear from your friends later on, many exciting things are going to come. Many good investment opportunities are going to come. All that he's already talked about last shloka. But here he says, this Vedas also has a lot of goodies to offer. Lot of goodies. And what about you? Are you going to go after those goodies or not? If it is in the artha, kama and dharma category, let's say artha and kama, then it is no different than the artha and kama that your investment magazine offers. No different, because security, artha is security, and you want security now, you want to secure your future after death also. It's all same category. So he says, Shruti vipratipanna. There the word Shruti refers to Vedas. Vedas is Shruti. Literal meaning of Shruti is that which is heard. Okay. But Shruti here, and some our acharyas refer, Shankaracharya takes it as Vedas. Shruti. Vedas and all scriptures, non-Vedic scriptures also. Anything that you consider to be sacred. Shruti. It says, if your mind is no longer confused by the Vedas, look at this. If your mind is no longer confused by the Vedas, look at what Krishna is saying. No longer confused by the Vedas means what? Vedas also offers means and ends. You want A, then you do B. You want C, then you do D. All this, Artha and Kama, Vedas is full of that. How to secure yourself. You want better health? Yes, there are many rituals for better health. You want a better family? Yes, you will have a better family. You do all these particular rituals with Shraddha. It's all there. So means and ends, all well established. The Vedas doesn't have any axe to grind. Therefore, we believe it, and all the rituals will work if I have Shraddha in it. So like this, he says, if your mind is still focused on that, you better watch out. The Vedas, even though sacred, still it takes me only towards Artha and Kama. So Shruti Vipratipanna, when your mind is no longer distracted by the Vedas. Shruti Vipratipanna, literal meaning is this. It is an adjective to buddhi. Okay, look at this. Sthasyati, that is the verb in the first line. Sthasyati. Sthasyati, stays. Stays. What stays? Buddhi stays. Buddhi here means mind. The second line you have the word buddhi. So you need to copy and paste it into the first line. Buddhi. Buddhi sthasati. Your mind stays. Your mind stays. Okay. What kind of mind? Shruti vipratipanna buddhi. Shruti vipratipanna is an adjective to mind. What kind of mind? A mind that is distracted by the various beautiful things the Vedas talks about. Okay. A mind that is distracted by the Vedas. Okay. That is called Shruti vipratipanna buddhi. Sthasyati. Stays. How does it stay? The mind stays how? Nischala. Nischala. Chalna. Chalna is moving. Nischala. No longer moving. No longer carried away by the Vedas. Knowing clearly where it is going to take me. You know where all these karmas are going to take me. They are all karma. Remember, we said karma. Karma is finite, and so the result of karma also is finite. But what am I seeking? I am seeking to be free of seeking itself. I am seeking to be free of limitations. Okay. And so that is my knowledge so far. And once I have that knowledge, then I am very clear. Clear that these are all various means for the various ends. So we talked long ago, a couple of months ago, about known means, known ends, unknown means, known ends, unknown means, unknown ends. Okay, go back to the class we did about 2 months ago. So this is all means, ends, means, ends, means, ends. Means what? I used the word means. It's a very technical word. Means the methodology, the tools, the things I use to accomplish a particular goal. An end is a goal. An end is something I want. Okay. So Vedas are all about means and ends. So that kind of clarity is there. That clarity is also called as what? In shloka number 41, we saw that kind of clarity is what? Vyavasayatmika buddhihi. Number 41, right? Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha kurunandana bahushakahyanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. So there also he said, I need what is called vyavasayatmika buddhihi, that single pointed mind which is backed by the clarity I have about all the things that are available in the world. Bahushaka hyanantascha, verse number 41. So these things in the world to do and accomplish are too many. And so you better not get carried away by all those things. That was said even in 41. Here also he is adding to what was said earlier. And that clarity is there. The dispassion is gained from the last shloka 52. What kind of dispassion? It is like this. Swamiji gives this example. You went to Switzerland to see the Alps, and you went around, and then you came home and you got some gifts, for your good friends, and then you give among other things, you found a shampoo that was so good. And even America also, they don't have this kind of shampoo. Even though you go to the Walmart and if you look for a shampoo and you don't know what to buy, you will get lost, because it just goes on and on and on like this. Oh, this is shampoo or what? Yeah, it's all shampoo. Top shampoo, below shampoo, everything is shampoo. What? There are 50, 100 different varieties of shampoo? How are you going to choose? There's no way you can choose. You thought you'll spend 1 minute. You leave Walmart after 2 hours. This is what happens. This is what happens. So you're so kind and you bought this shampoo and you give it to your friend Vikram, and then Vikram takes the shampoo and then he looks at you without responding. Not responding. No thanks, nothing. And why? Because Vikram is bald. Baldness. Bald means you can't even see a strand of hair on the head. That kind of baldness. And you gifted him shampoo. And you also realized your mistake immediately. So, how is Vikram going to look at this shampoo? Is he going to be excited by it? Is he a person who would have seen all these advertisements on TV? With all this hair flowing, they show this hair has to flow. Otherwise, this shampoo advertisement is meaningless without hair flowing. And then you put some car, put some man, female, all this you do. And within 30 seconds, they do magic. And Vikram is not going to be attracted by any of these advertisements because he knows it's of no use to me. And so no discussion there. There is no discussion between Vikram and his wife. Hey, what kind of shampoo? This shampoo is not working out well. Do you like this? Do you think we should switch the brand? This kind of discussion doesn't happen between him and his wife because there is no connection between Vikram and the shampoo. So that kind of objectivity, Swamiji says, that person has to get. And that means that person has clarity. Okay. So that kind of clarity is there. And so let's go back to the shloka. So sthasyati stays, shruti vipratipanna buddhihi sthasyati. The confused, distracted mind stays nischala, not moving. Previously distracted, now totally non-distracted. Nischala. Chala means moving. Nischala means unmoving. Unmoving. Like the shampoo doesn't attract Vikram. Like that, unmoving. Okay. Yada. Te is there here. Te buddhi. Te means your buddhi. Your buddhi. Te. Tava. Okay. So yada means when your distracted mind is now completely stable, means when your mind is no longer distracted. Okay. Then tada, look at that word tada in the second line. In the middle of the second line, you have tada. Tada means then, complementing yada, when. Okay, then what happens? Samadhau. The first word is samadhau. Second word is achala. Samadhau plus achala becomes samadhavachala. So we split that, what looks like one word, into two words. Samadhau achala buddhihi tada yogam avapsyasi. The verb in the second line is avapsyasi. Avapsyasi. Okay. Tada avapsyasi. Then you will gain. You will gain. What will you gain? First thing you will gain is achala buddhi. Samadhau achala buddhi. You will gain a mind that is focused on Atma. So this word samadhau is there. So we need to figure out what this word is. Samadhau. Samadhi. Many people have heard this word samadhi. Samadhi. So what is the meaning of samadhi? Generally, it is understood as a state of mind which is calm. There are two kinds of samadhi: savikalpa samadhi and nirvikalpa samadhi, very popular in our shastra. So a mind that is stable, but it has some thoughts of Ishvara, thoughts of Atma, like that. Some thoughts are there, but very stable. That kind of samadhi is called savikalpa samadhi. Very important in Yoga Shastram. This is very important. And then nirvikalpa samadhi means a thoughtless mind, a mind that is completely free of thought. These two states of mind they're called samadhi. So is that what Krishna means here? So now we have to rely on, there are other meanings also of samadhi. So we have to rely on Adi Shankaracharya to figure out what this means. He says, Samyak adhiyate yasmin iti samadhi. Don't worry about the Sanskrit words. Samyak adhiyate. That in which everything resolves. That in which everything resolves is samadhi. Now we have to figure out what this, that in which everything resolves. Adhiyate. And he says, Kama Atma. Atma. He also makes it clear. Everything resolves in Atma. So samadhi, according to Shankaracharya, he says is Atma. Atma. Samadhi. So in this context, Samadhau achala buddhi. In that samadhi, means in that Atma, this person has, your mind will have achala buddhi, an unshaken clarity, unshaken vision is there, which resolves in Atma. Which resolves in Atma means what? That also we have to spend some time understanding. That means you understand Satyam and Mithya very well. Everything in this world is Mithya. My body is also Mithya. Everything is Mithya, but is there any Satyam? Is there something that is absolutely true? Yes, there is that which is absolutely true. They say it is Brahma. Brahma means the truth of the world. The world resolves into Brahman. So the word resolves is used in that sense. Resolves into Brahman means just as the wave resolves into water, ocean also resolves into water. And that water is you. Your true nature is water. Like that, the wave can be told. Like that here, Samadhau achala buddhihi. When my clarity is there about Satyam and Mithya, then everything resolves into Atma. Because the body is there, like the wave, the body is nothing but Atma. Atma. Like the water is nothing but, the wave is nothing but water. Correct? So, achala buddhihi. That much clarity, if I have, the unshakable clarity, okay, then tada, you will have that. So tada samadhau achala buddhihi. And so we can say, we can add the samadhau achala buddhi to the previous yada clause, the when clause. You can put it in the when clause. So when your mind is no longer distracted by the various means and ends offered by the Vedas, then your mind will remain steady. Okay, so I'm translating that nischala as steady, and your intellect is firmly established in the self, in Atma. Tada, then avapsesi, you will gain. What will you gain? Yogam. Tada yogam avapsesi. Now again, the word yoga is used. then you will gain yoga. So we need to understand what the word means, because I thought yoga was hatha yoga, all the exercises we do, asanas. Then here Krishna has introduced karma yoga and sankhya yoga, and then there is another word, jnana yoga. Like this, slowly different types of yogas are coming up. And here one more word, yogam. So we need to figure out, is it one of the yogas that we already know? And here, what does Krishna say? Yoga can mean means of knowledge. A pramanam also is called yoga. Pramanam, a means of knowledge. Well, here it can't mean pramanam. Then you will gain the means of knowledge. That doesn't sound right, because the means of knowledge is already available. All the 5 sense organs are there. The Veda is also means of knowledge. It's already available. So it's not like you gain the means of knowledge. So that cannot be true. Then state of mind. Okay, state of mind is also called yoga. That also doesn't apply here, because he's already talked about that state of mind before in these words nischala and achala. Nischala, achala, both very similar, can be used interchangeably. So that state of mind is already used. An undistracted mind, a mind that is clear about satyam and mithya, a mind that knows that everything resolves into atma. Therefore, what is the other meaning? Shankaracharya gives the meaning, the word third meaning, which is knowledge. Knowledge of atma, of course. Jnanam, atma jnanam. Then you will gain self-knowledge. Okay. So now you understand why we can't let go of Adi Shankaracharya. We can't just keep a dictionary next to us and try to figure out the meaning of these shlokas. Okay. And so with that nirmohatvam from the previous shloka, no longer deluded, and now put the Vedas in there also. The Vedas also will not deliver goods unless I am clear. The Vedas will give me exactly what I ask for. And do I know what I ask for? Okay, that's the question. And if that kind of clarity is there, I am no longer confused about what? What is Atma? Is Atma somewhere located inside my body, in my heart? Some small little thing? Is that Atma? Is Atma free or is it bound? Is it unlimited or is it limited? What is the connection between the world and Atma? What is the connection between Brahma and Atma? Did Atma change to become the world, or did it become the world without changing? Okay. Like this, so many questions are there, which we are all learning, of course. And so this samadhau achala buddhi means all these things. The person no longer has any doubts. No longer has any doubts. That is the meaning of this samadhau achala buddhi. And so when the clarity is there, then it becomes clear that Atma is everything, but Atma is also free from everything. Atma is everything, Atma is free from everything. Like what? Like water is everything. Water is the wave, water is every other wave. Or rather, other way around. Wave is water. Every wave is water. The ocean is also water. But water is free from being a wave. Water is free from being a wave. If water were not free from being a wave, then what? Then water cannot but be wave. But we do see water being water. Wave can exist, wave need not exist. but water exists. So water is free from being a wave. Water is not limited by the wave. That's the meaning there. So this kind of clarity, hey Arjuna, te buddhihi vipratipanna buddhihi yada nischala sthasyati tada yogam avapsyasi. So let's see that shloka once again. We'll complete it. Tada yogam avapsyasi. Then you will gain knowledge. So translating that shloka, when your mind is no longer distracted by the Vedas, means by the portion of the Vedas which offer various means and ends to be gained. Correct? That is the meaning of that, Vedas. Vedas has other portion. We are studying the portion which gives us knowledge, Upanishad. Okay, so it doesn't include the entire Veda. It includes the Vedas which talk about Dharma, Artha and Kama, not Moksha. So that portion of the Vedas, it will remain steady. It will remain steady. So yada Shruti Vipanna or te Shruti Vipratipanna Buddhihi Nischala Sthasyati, it will remain steady, comma, firmly established in the self, which we have explained what it means. Firmly established in the self. Samadhau achala buddhihi. So we are using the word buddhi 2 times here. Tada, or you can put full stop there. Firmly established in the self, full stop. Then you will gain self-knowledge. Tada yogam avapsyasi. So when your mind is no longer distracted by the Vedas, it will remain steady, firmly established in the self. Full stop. Then you will gain self-knowledge. So if you look at this sloka, the first line of the shloka is talking about karma yoga. Karma yoga. So that which we have been, Krishna has been talking about. Okay, where you have the prasada buddhi and ishvararpana buddhi and following dharma, kaushalam, that is karma yoga. So that first line is all karma yoga. Second line, he jumps to knowledge. Karma yoga is not knowledge. Karma yoga is an attitude towards things, towards myself, towards my actions and towards my results, which neutralizes the bite of the raga dveshas. We saw that. Which neutralizes the potential that the raga dveshas have, my likes and dislikes have. And with karma yoga, I can no longer be my yo-yo-ness. My getting victimized by my own likes and dislikes goes away completely. This is what karma yoga can give. And then second line says you will gain knowledge. That mind which is prepared by karma yoga gains knowledge. So second line talks about jnana yoga, sankhya yoga. Knowledge of Atma, which was already described earlier by Krishna. So in a way, you can say the main teaching is over. Only if Arjuna wanted some elaboration, Krishna might continue. But it looks like this is a time that Krishna would have paused. Because and Arjuna has now heard almost 2 chapters. And or at least 1 chapter, teaching started in the 2nd chapter. And so much talk about karma yoga and Atma was talked about. And so what do you think, Krishna may have paused here. And you're promising big things. And he even mentioned that you really can't leaving this fight is not an option for you. And like this, he's already talked about. So Arjuna may have been thinking, let me think about this. I think you're offering something interesting, but I need to think about it, because because now you're asking me to be committed to this Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya, this knowledge, which is supposed to free me completely. Very interesting. I need to think about it. We all say that. Oh, let me think about it and get back to you, right? So very, very important. We need to give people time to think about things. And so in Tamil we say, what do you call it? Arasanai nambi purusanai kaivitta kadai. Like that they say. I'll translate that. There is this people tree. It's a banyan tree family, and it's supposed to have a lot of medicinal benefits. And one of the benefits of that tree is, if the woman does not have a child, then they say you worship this people tree, and then you go around it, you pray, and then you will be blessed with a child. So having not had a child for so many years, she said she believed it, and then she worshipped the people tree. She went round and round, and she's committed to the people tree. And then she has given up the husband. And then how is she going to have a child without the husband? And she says people tree. Arasa mara. So arasa marata kattinda engappa koinda porugum. How will you have a baby? You can't give up your husband just because somebody said this tree will bless you. Okay, that is the kind of story here. Arjuna might be thinking, wait a minute, you're asking me to give up a lot, and you're asking me to change my focus, and I need to think about it. So essentially the teaching could have been over. Okay, fine. When you're ready, come back. And so that kind of situation, some of our scholars look at it that way. And so here, look at that. Arjuna is going to ask a question. Okay, next shloka is a question from Arjuna, right? Arjuna Uvacha, it's coming right here. If the subject matter was something to be believed. Yes, I believe whatever you say. There is nothing to ask. There is nothing to know more, because it's something to be believed. What is a belief? A belief is that which you take as true, despite lack of evidence. You take as true. Okay. So you needed a ride, and then your neighbor is going somewhere, and you came to visit your friend, and the friend said, yeah, this neighbor is going to the same place, you can go with him. It's, what is it? You believe your friend, because you don't know the neighbor. The friend's neighbor you don't know, and he's supposed to drop you. It's a belief. There is no rule. There is no evidence that this person is trustworthy. There is absolutely no evidence. But the only evidence you have is, my friend told me, therefore I must be in good hands. That's the only thing that makes you go with the flow. But you don't have any evidence. You believe it. So when belief is there, there is no need for any questions. There is no need for a discussion. There cannot be a discussion. What kind of discussion can you have about a belief? Unless In science, they may believe this particular medicine will cure your ailment. All these things can be there. But even there, it's all based on science. It's all based on facts. But I may not have time to understand these facts. I'm not a medical guy, so I can't understand all these. Neither allopathy I understand, nor homeopathy, nor Ayurveda, nothing. It's all so confusing. So we simply say, okay, you trust one or two people in your life about medicines, and then you ask them all the time. And then that's fine. So when it comes to belief, there is no Q&A. Q&A is not needed. But here, because it's a matter to be understood, okay, because it's a fact, Krishna is making some bold statements. And so Arjuna has a question. So far, we've not seen a satsang. I don't think Arjuna got a satsang yet, right? So every class, after every class, we have a satsang. And Swamiji used to have a satsang every class. After every day, at the end of the day, we used to have a satsang. Where we used to, like you're all asking, we used to ask questions. And we used to, so there was a time when we would ask the question vocally and then Swamiji would respond. But then as the crowd started increasing, then everybody can't hear the question you ask. The microphone is not there. So we started writing. We would write in a piece of paper and then turn it over. And then so we would put those questions in a small little basket that used to be there on Swamiji's podium table. And so he used to pick up those and read the questions. But regardless, questions are important. Questions are encouraged. Only the questions will reveal to the teacher whether the students are following or not. It's feedback the teacher should take. If a student is asking a question that the teacher may have thought is obvious and it doesn't seem obvious, the teacher should accept, hey, what is obvious to me is not obvious to the student. So that feedback the teacher has to take. So Q&A is very important in any subject matter. So in our school, in our colleges, everything that we studied, of course, Q&A is a must. Why? Because everything there has to be understood, not simply believed. So here also, same situation. And later on, Krishna will say, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Upadekshanti te, I don't remember the number, chapter number 4, I think. Know that subject, know that Atma. How do you know the Atma? Tadvidhi pranipatena. By being courteous to the teacher, by being respectful to the teacher, pranipata, by letting go and keeping your ears open, pranipatena, pariprashnena, he says that. What a word he uses. Prashna means question. Pariprashna means proper questions. Pariprashnena. Krishna is going to say that later. By asking right questions. So Krishna is encouraging Arjuna, you must ask questions. Without questioning, you can't understand. Because here it is a matter of understanding. Not simply believing and then saying namaskar and then I believe everything you say, Krishna. I believe everything you say is a correct statement, but it is not meant for belief, it's meant for understanding. Okay. So now, with that said, Arjuna is going to ask a question. Let's see what that question is. Let's at least chant it in the few minutes we have left. Okay. So, Sundari ji, I'm going to unmute you. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Yeah, Sundari from Coimbatore. Good. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Sthita Prajnasya.
Sthita Prajnasya.
Ka Bhasha.
Ka Bhasha.
Samadhistasya.
Samadhistasya.
Keshava.
Keshava.
Sthitadhihi.
Sthitadhihi.
Kim prabhashet.
Kim prabhashet.
Kimasit.
Kimasit.
Vrajet kim.
Vrajet kim.
Yeah. So I noticed that some of you were looking to see who that person is, because we're all classmates of the same class, and without really knowing each other, we are sitting in the same class. Very, very strange situation. That's why I say sometimes you go to the gallery view and look at each other, and we spend some time introducing each other in the early on. So maybe we need to have a second round, so that we've heard some names are familiar, and so we will try to do that in the satsang. A couple of people, 3 people, introduce ourselves and so forth. So I read that when a couple of people were looking at the screen, and I then realized, okay, maybe who is this Sundari ji, and that question can come. And that's natural, because we're all in this class. It's already almost a year now, and in 10 months, and so we'll find a creative way. I'm also learning. This system is new to me as well, so we will get there. Okay, so here Arjuna is asking a question. Ka bhasha. Ka means question. Some of these words. Ka, kim prabhasheta, kim asita. This ka, kim, ke, all these words in Sanskrit are all questions. And because the word kim also declines means it has a masculine gender, feminine gender, neutral gender, and it declines in number also. Singular kim is there, and then dual k is there, and then bahuvachanam plural kani is there, and 3 types of kani: kaha, ke, kani. Like this, so many 9 words are there. For what? For what? Okay, then there is how, which, how much. All these are other questions. Okay, and they also have genders and numbers. So there are. You have a choice. When you come to Sanskrit, you always have a lot of choice. Okay. This is the place to be. Modern world should know Sanskrit. I'm getting some ideas. I think I should make a note of that. Somebody asked me to give a talk on Sanskrit. So I'm trying to see what I should say. So this is another interesting point. So, ka bhasha, kim prabhasheta, kim asita. So he's clearly asking a question here. So in Sanskrit, historically they don't use question marks in the texts those days, but here we are welcome to put a question mark, so it tells you that it is a question. Good. So in the next class, let's see what Arjuna is asking. His question itself reveals that Arjuna has really understood what Krishna has said. So all that we will see in the next class. Okay. Om swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahimahishaha gobrahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam lokas samastas sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyah prithvi sasyashalini deshoyam kshobarahitah brahmanas santu nirbhayaah om sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayah sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.